with that game there. Craig and I were at practice yesterday for Baylor after their workout. The spring drills are going on like everybody else is as well. Jake Spavital was there. DeQuan Finn was there, the quarterback Sawyer Robertson, and also R.J. Martinez. Craig, what did you get out of all that today? Your thoughts about what was going on?
Well, yesterday it was good to hear from all those guys. I like talking to Jake Spavital. I like him.
He's a football coach.
Yeah, he seems like a nice dude, and obviously has been around quite a few places. I mean, West Virginia fans very familiar with Jake Spavital. Was at Texas State, got the head coaching opportunities. Been around the block for a while now, and Texas A&M, of course, and so on and so forth, and now here at Baylor, and a big part of what Dave Aranda is leaning on to try and keep this thing going on into a 6th and 7th and 8th years, hopefully. But I just think right now it's also very new. They're just taking the steps into learning this thing fully, this new offense, and getting to know each other in many ways because of the staff and how many changes there were, and the fact that you had to double hire some positions because of Alabama's job opening, creating a domino effect to where all of a sudden you had a couple guys get poached later that you weren't expecting whatsoever. And so it's just been a very busy and interesting offseason that now has finally turned into on-the-field action. And I think just the big takeaway for me was just how glad I am to have football out on the field and be able to talk about on-the-field things and getting ready for next year. And so a lot of learning going on right now, but really enjoyed talking to Jake Spavital. Loved hearing from DeQuan Finn for the first time. He told us that he watched RG3 growing up, wore number 10 because of RG3 when he was playing Pop Warner ball. Mm-hmm. And that lines up age-wise. I went and looked, actually, and I was like, okay, yeah, he would have been like 8 years old or whatever about that time period, 8, 9, 10, something like that. So it was good to hear from DeQuan Finn, and really was impressed by Sawyer Robertson and R.J. Martinez. I mean, R.J. Martinez is what people would identify as like the third-string quarterback, but that was a dude that Spavital raved over. Spavital loves him some R.J. Martinez.
You can see his eyes like he may not have known that when he was here.
Spavital likes R.J. Martinez based on what he's seen so far. So I think they've got a really solid quarterback room. I think Sawyer Robertson's in an offense that is more to his talents and to his liking and to his base knowledge, because he originally signed up to play in an air raid. He played an air raid in high school, played an air raid very briefly at Mississippi State under Mike Leach. He went there to go play for Mike Leach and in the air raid, and then obviously there was a lot of change, unfortunately, with his passing, and Sawyer ends up at Baylor, but now here's an air raid with Jake Spavital. So I like that room. I like the changes they've made there, and I'm excited to see what it all looks like. And I don't know how many games they're going to win next year, but I do feel like they're going to be able to score points a little bit easier than what we've seen the last couple of years, where it really felt like sometimes pulling a tooth. Just in watching them try to slog their way down the field, I feel like there's going to be a lot more of your shorter touchdown drives that used to be commonplace around here, or just the big explosive plays. The reintroduction of the slot wide receiver to the offense, basically. I think it better suits their personnel. I think it better suits what they kind of need at this point, because they don't have a defense where they can just rely on having an okay offense. They need to have an offense that can be explosive and can score, not just because that's what everybody wants, because that's what they need, because we don't know how much better in one offseason Dave Aranda and Gary Patterson can make this defense, along with others' help. So they needed to freshen up, and I feel like they have, and I think there's a really good attitude. Of course, everybody's happy starting out spring ball, but I just get a much different sense. And quite honestly, it's just kind of nice to move on. I hate the way it's probably going to sound, but if Blake Shapen was back again this year, I just don't know that I would be talking the same way, because it was just kind
of like when before Charlie Brewer's last year.
It's very much like the Charlie Brewer situation, where it's just like, okay, we've seen this. We can't run this back another. It's not even all your fault. It's not the shoulder. Like, your shoulders don't need to take all of the blame. It was part this, part that. But I think just having a definitive change at quarterback, a change in the offense, all that freshness is going to be good for this team in the long run. I don't know if it wins them any more games, but I think it's going to be at least a little bit more entertaining, and it could lead to you winning more games.
By the way, you're right. I got a little glitter glimmer in Spavital's eye when he started talking about RJ. And again, who knows how it's going to work out, but also how they really don't know who their interior or the slot receiver is going to be in an air raid type offense. And they're going to just like everybody's going to play all the different positions. Quarterbacks throw it to them all the time and let the quarterbacks kind of let see who rises to the top there.
I think the biggest question with them now is their offensive line. And I think some of the issues that you might have typically, if you're trying to do like what Jeff Grimes was trying to do, you have to have a different kind of mentality and group of linemen. And I think this allows linemen to not have to be so perfect maybe sometimes to be effective, that it's so quick moving and fast paced that you don't have to like, you know what I'm saying? It's not like pro style offensive line blocking. It's like you can be a little bit more versatile up front. And so I think that will help, but that is where the questions lie. I don't think that they have a shortage of playmakers because of what they've been able to do in the transfer portal. I think they're good at running back. I think they're good at receiver. I think they're good at tight end. I think they're good at quarterback now. So really it's the line. And then I think on the other side, if Dave Aranda and Gary Patterson can't fix your defense, then who is going to?
Then you probably can't.
Who is going to? If those two can't, with months of preparation, figure out, then it's simply a matter of the only solution is to go get the biggest donor possible and have them give you millions of dollars to go buy the best players. That is the only other way that you're going to fix it if Dave Aranda and Gary Patterson can't fix it. So I feel good about that. I am worried, though, about the defensive line after the nose tackle retirements. Losing two nose tackles that were clearly going to be like your top two guys is a bad problem, but I don't think they have a ton of problems. So, yeah, I feel good about where they are, and they've clearly got a couple holes, but we'll see how they adjust to them. We're only a couple practices in at this point.
All right. So, by the way,